Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's another beautiful Friday here in the Lono Studios. And as we all know, it's Let's Talk Friday as always. I am your host, Join us, and with me is Mr. Malula. Greet the people, sir.
Good evening, our followers on social media. I believe you stay glued up to the end of this particular presentation.
Okay, it's yet another interesting topic we have here. We actually have another beautiful topic which says intimate relationship and communication. What is communication? Why are relationship ending because of lack of proper communication? People are having misunderstandings. Spouses, marriages are also ending because of lack of proper communication. Do you want to know why? Stay tuned as we go on a very short break.
Lono Studios cares about your memories, and what better way to keep your memories than having pictures and videos. As Lono Studios, we cover events such as weddings, kitchen parties, chilanga mulilo, birthday parties, as well as corporate events. If you are looking for quality pictures and videos for such events, look no further than Lono Studios. Visit and like our Facebook page at LonoZM.
Welcome back our beautiful viewers. As I've already introduced the topic, intimate relationship and communication. Before we actually go any further, Mr. Malola, what is communication in an intimate relationship?
Thank you so much, join us for according me another opportunity to feature on this platform. Communication in an intimate relationship has to do with revealing of our emotions that we might not necessarily reveal to an ordinary person.
Okay.
When you are talking about an intimate relationship, you are basically talking about a relationship that two people share that are very close to each other. And then when we talk about communication in such kind of a relationship, we are basically talking about how they offload their emotions to each other.
Okay.
Receiving and giving of information that may not necessarily be given to a person that they are not very close to.
Oh wow! So it actually has put it information that you share with your spouse, to put it in a short phrase. Okay,
Yeah.
so talking about intimate relationships and communication, is communication actually important?
Actually, communication is the pillar.
Okay.
It
How
is.
so?
It's the pillar of any kind of relationship.
Okay.
More so when we talk of an intimate relationship, because it has to do with your emotions, your feelings, and how you confide in this person. So if there is no communication, then you are allowing other issues now to fall in play, like issues of mistrust,
Okay.
issues of infidelity. You may think that because the other person has not communicated their feelings, you may think otherwise. So when you don't communicate effectively, you don't expect a relationship to stand the test of time.
Okay.
Because any relationship um, is based on how you relate. And how you relate has to do with how you offload your emotions. If you are not happy about something, how do you make your partner to understand that you are not happy about something? Or you are looking forward to something, or you want to ask for a favor or anything of that sort. It has to do with how you are going to give out the information and how the other person is going to receive them. So basically, where there is no communication, there is communication breakdown. You expect that relationship not to go anywhere. One simple reason: because one of the key ingredients has not been addressed, and that's the issue of communication.
Okay, so communication is a pillar of any
Exactly.
relationship.
Exactly.
Okay, so talking about communication, I remember last time we were here, you touched of where you have to communicate to the other partner on how you have to start a relationship or what kind of relationship you want to have with that person. Are there some vital questions you have to ask that person who intends to have a relationship with you? And if so, what are those questions do you have to ask them?
Yeah, it's very, very important to ask questions, because asking quality questions will give you quality answers.
Okay.
And people that are successful in building better relationships, they ask such kind of questions. As human beings, we are social beings.
Mm-hmm.
We are very social beings.
Mm.
So for you to establish a very, very good relationship, you need to ask questions like, what kind of a person am I in a relationship with? Because we are different. We have different characters.
Exactly.
Yes, there are some people that we may call in psychology as extroverts,
Extroverts, exactly.
and there are people that we may call
Introverts.
introverts, and there are those that are in between that we may call ambiverts.
Yes.
So sometimes when you talk about this communication, you need to understand, what kind of a person am I dealing with? What kind of values does this person have? Issues to do with principles, issues to do with likes and dislikes, issues to do with long-term goals and short-term goals. All those are some of the questions that you need to address if you want to establish a very perfect intimate relationship in as far as communication is concerned.
Okay, I asked that question because you find that this time around relationships, I don't know if they're even called relationships, they are just actually starting. You find people have met, they're already intimate, the other person didn't even ask, they don't even know that their spouse's favorite things or favorite places to be or their favorite food. As you have said, those things are very necessary when knowing somebody. But looking at our generation, it's quite sad. You would find they're in a relationship. They never even asked, if it's a man, he never even asked the girl to say, would you be my girlfriend? It's just, hi babe, hi love, and the relationship begins like that. So it's quite very vital to ask those questions that you stated, because so that you actually know the kind of person you're getting into a relationship with. It's actually very important. Okay, there comes a time when a relationship has got conflicts, they're having issues. How do you talk to your partner without them feeling offended?
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. One of the underlying factors that may bring about a conflict in an intimate relationship is a lack of proper communication.
Okay.
Because communication, from I think we may look at it as just one way of you relating with each other, talking to each other, but it goes beyond that.
Okay.
Because there are different ways of communicating.
Okay.
Sometimes we communicate by word of mouth, which we may call verbal communication.
Verbal communication, yeah.
And there's also what we may call non-verbal communication,
Okay.
where you don't use the word of mouth.
You use actions.
Actions. And there's a popular saying in English that action speaks louder than words.
But first, let me actually cut you short. Talking about actions, there's the silent treatment, which is actually not good. How does actually a silent treatment? You've said the actions speak louder than words. You just act. The other person has offended you, and there you go. You stop talking. You're just quiet. They ask you, "How are you?" "I'm fine." What did you eat?" "No." And at the end of the day, I think if you're not talking directly, verbally, that person can't know to say, yeah.
No, you are also communicating. Not only that, join us. Even the way you dress.
Communicate.
You're communicating something.
You're upset.
Even the gestures you use, even the hands, you are communicating something.
Yes.
Even your facial expression.
Yes.
You may not have spoken anything, but just the continuum, the way you make up your face, will communicate to the other person.
So it's okay to actually do a silent treatment.
Exactly. That's why I talked about there are different kinds of people that you may interact with. There are those that are extreme introverts. There are those that are extreme, extroverts. And some of them may not be very good in terms of talking, but they'll give you this silent treatment, which may even be more grievous than someone who has used certain words. So when we talk about issues of conflict that we mentioned, they will arise as a result of lack of communication. So when you talk about lack of communication, you are basically looking at reaching a point where you are able to accept something. You know, for a conflict to arise, conflict will always be there, and the conflict is normal in a relationship.
Very
Even in a
normal.
given society. What is bad is a violent conflict.
Don't you think the silent treatment would somehow lead to being violent? Because the more you get that silent treatment, that person won't actually know to say, okay, they'll have a hint, not even a hint, they'll not say, okay, my spouse is actually upset, but they don't know what you have offended them. And you being silent, you might just maybe overdo it. Won't that actually affect the other person?
It may affect the other person, as you have rightly put it. The reason is that communication is a skill. So what makes the other person to just go in a cocoon where they don't want to talk and they give you this silent treatment? It's because of the way that you have been relating with them. And you know, sometimes even tradition and our culture also plays a very, very important role. We are coming from a culture where women were taught, even especially when a woman came of age, to say, as a woman, you're not supposed to talk. When a man is talking, you keep quiet. You understand? So they will communicate by saying, okay, I don't agree with what you are saying, by making up their faces, and they are quiet and they give you this silent treatment. They are also communicating. But that is not the kind of communication that we want to advocate for, or we want people to adopt.
Yes.
Because that kind of communication will end up now creating other problems. We want people to sit and reason. Even when there's a conflict. Conflict is normal, like I said earlier on, because wherever 2 or 3 human beings are, you don't expect them to have the same kind of, likes, the same kind of taste for everything. These conflicts will be there. But what is important is, how do you make this conflict work to your advantage? Because what will even improve the relationship is conflict. Join us, you are in a relationship with this man, and you agree on everything. Let's go to town, you go. Tomorrow we are going for dinner, you go. No, tomorrow I want you to dress like this, you agree. Everything, no, we have some money, we need to invest in this, you all agree. It's not going to work. Even for you to move with your 2 legs, there's conflict. You can't move all your legs at once. One leg has to be in front, just like
behind,
that.
Yes.
So we sometimes have differences, or we can say we have misunderstandings in order to understand ourselves.
Okay, that is very true and very important. That brings me to the next question, because communication being the important thing in a relationship, and let's just put it as a foundation of a relationship. Are there certain things that you're supposed to talk to your spouse about, and certain things that you're not?
If you are talking about someone who is an intimate friend, there should be no barriers.
But we've heard such things as maybe if I'm in a relationship and maybe I'm having family problems or family issues of my family, is it okay to actually share them with my partner?
The relationships, they have got stages. There are stages where it's in an infancy stage. You meet this person today and you want to offload everything. That person will look at you and not to be very normal, and something might be missing up there. Okay. So when you reach a particular stage, because if you don't offload, that might affect that particular relationship in future.
So for how long are you supposed to wait when you are in a relationship, an inter-relationship? For how long are you supposed to wait until you now start talking to your spouse about your family problems and everything? Is it months? Is it weeks? Is it years?
No, it's not. There are no rules that are cast in stone to say you should spend 2 years or 3 years. There are even couples that have been married for 20 years, but they can't communicate. The only time that they talk to each other is when they are shouting at each other.
But how is that even a relationship?
It is because people enter into relationships for a variety of reasons. You remember last week we did discuss the same things. So the way you start a relationship will determine even the how you are going to solve conflicts in that particular relationship and what you are going to share. Because if you don't share certain information, it is also a way of communicating that you don't value the other person.
Okay, so let me just read some of the comments that we're having here. We have a comment from Kayulandoti saying, "One Mwalulabao me paba me. Watch live from Russia with Putin and 1,000 others." Okay, there's also from Yena Lungu. Evening Yena Lungu. Keep the comments coming. We'll read them here. Tell us your views. Tell us what you think. Tell us how you can communicate to your partner. What are some of the ways that you can improve communication with your partner? Okay, so I asked, so I'm not clear on the question I asked, to say, on what stage are you supposed to tell your partner to say, know this, know that, or actually even have the, what can you say? What word can I use for you being vulnerable in that person's presence? Because as you had said, there are people who are like together, they've never even seen their partner cry.
You know where the challenge is nowadays?
Yes.
People become lovers before they become friends.
Okay. There are
So
some people who might not
there are
understand
two aspects.
that. Yes.
You know, there are times when you can become lovers, but you're not friends.
Yeah, very true.
And there are times when you start a relationship as friends and you end up being lovers. So it's how you start a relationship that will determine even the kind of interaction that you are going to have in that particular relationship. From the onset, you have started this relationship very, very well. You are able to interact. You are able to do this. It will just show itself to say, I think this time I'm able to share certain things with the other person. Because for you to share what you might consider to be secrets in inverted commas or sacred information,
yes,
it's because you have trust for the other person. Do you know that a person will not come and share anything with you, even ask for your device, number one, if they have no confidence in you? So a relationship must have certain values and principles under which that relationship is built. So as long as there are no principles and values under which that particular relationship is built, it will be very difficult. So there's no timeline that is actually fixed to say, I think a relationship be 1 year old or 2 years old for you to start now sharing certain information. It's how you grow it. And you know, a relationship, you don't wait for the relationship to work for you. Work for the relationships. So you don't expect the relationship to solve your problems, but you expect to solve your problems. That is how you are going to benefit from that relationship, because you are contributing to it. It's just like you plant a tree. You don't expect that tree to water itself. You water it, you nurture it, and then to give you the fruits. The same with an intimate relationship. Establish that relationship, work on that particular relationship, then that relationship grows. And when that relationship grows, it will blossom. It will have fruits. And then those are the benefits now. You will not ask for a tree that you have planted today and say, I want fruits today. That will be asking for too much. You have to wait. It is stage by stage. As you are moving stage by stage, you are knowing each other. You are knowing each other's emotions. You are knowing each other's dislikes. You are knowing even something that you might not have known the first day you met. Because sometimes as men, like I said last time, we are not so much carried by what is inside. The beauty, the inner beauty doesn't appeal to us so much. Yes. But for us, it's outward appearance. Yes. So now you see this person is beautiful from outside. Are they also beautiful from inside? So when you discover that they are beautiful from inside, and now you have confidence in them, you can open up and tell them all what you are going through. So if you see, I've heard a lot of people to say, my partner doesn't open up. There are people that don't open up. They keep things to themselves, and they end up even doing what is not supposed to be done.
Okay, so talking about people who actually keep things to themselves, you have a conflict in a relationship, and then that person, looking at the silent treatment one, they are not actually, even if you've been together for a very long time, they are not actually that free to open up to you and tell you to say, this is what is going on. And being the partner to that person, you have to be a shoulder, you have to give them a shoulder to cry on when they're hurting. But how do you resolve conflict? How do you resolve it if the other partner doesn't want to open up because of maybe what they've been through in the past? You know, even the upbringing of a child also has an impact on how they interact with other people. So how do you help or how do you handle such a partner who we are having conflict, they can't talk about it because of other issues they're having, and then they're actually reacting that way in which you don't understand? How do you help such a partner?
You help a partner by making sure that you win their support, number one. For someone to come and open up to you, like I said earlier on, they should have confidence in you. So what will be the point of coming to you and trying to resolve a conflict with you when in the first place I don't even have confidence in you?
But how do you have a relationship, an intimate relationship with someone who you don't have confidence in? What is even the purpose of that
people
relationship?
Are doing it for wrong reasons. Like, you know, I've heard even on social media, some of the things that people post on social media are not just for fun. People
they're
say,
very true.
No, I think I'm giving myself a year. I have to get married, or I have to someone to give me a child.
Yeah,
you understand such things.
Yes,
so now, if that person is only interested in getting into a relationship because this person is fed up of being single, they will enter into that relationship and accept whatever it takes. And those are the people that whatever happens, they'll say, it's okay if you need to the color. Whatever problems, in life. You can have two people living, even in homes, in a home setup, but they are miles apart. But they are living together, they are sharing the same bed. Actually, there are people that will even share the same bed, will even make love, but they are not communicating. So even when it comes to resolving conflicts, it's very difficult. Let me tell you about conflict resolution. Conflict resolution has to do with understanding the nature of conflict. Some of the conflict will be as a result of our emotions. Some of the conflicts that may arise will be as a result of resources. But there are people that may lack what I may call emotional intelligence. You know, emotional intelligence has to do with reading the other person's emotions. Do you know that there are people that are not, that don't even care how they talk to you?
Yeah, they are there.
They are there. They don't care how you feel whatever they say to you. So there are such people that lack emotional intelligence. But somebody talked. And you, because you are told this, it's still
in your heart,
pinching you. It's still in your heart. So sometimes when if you have to solve a conflict, it's very, very important to understand you as an individual, understand yourself, understand your partner. Even when a conflict comes, you know, one time where somebody was making a presentation somewhere and said there's a couple that will differed over just how they get toothpaste from a tube. Somebody was saying, no, why should you start from here? You are supposed to start from there. A conflict starts.
Okay, I think
the devil is in little details.
Yes.
The little things that we don't pay attention to matter most.
Yes, very much. As they say, the little things actually matter. Okay, keep your comments coming as we go on a short break. Tell us your views, what you feel is the right way to communicate to a spouse, how you can actually talk to your partner, how you can open up to them. We'll be back shortly.
We show you how the face of Kasama has changed each and every moment. Our production crew has now advanced in streaming live in full HD up to 4K. Lono Studios is well equipped for the service. We have 4K cameras for high resolution, DJI drone for aerial view, live streaming video switcher, gimbal for smooth rotation of an object, and many more equipments. You can book us for live streaming to render your services in sport activities, church services, road shows, corporate meetings and workshops, social gatherings, and many more adventure activities. Book your session now on 0973 173461. Visit or like our Facebook page at Lono TV. Love ain't no bonus.
Okay, so welcome back. You know, this topic is very interesting. I haven't forgotten to welcome you, our viewers. Talking about conflict, I think we should have it as a topic on its own, how partners can actually resolve conflicts in relationships. Okay, so having to have those conflicts, having misunderstandings, how do you have that timing to say, I think now is the right time to talk to your partner? How do you actually time to say now is the right time to talk to your spouse?
You know, jointness, like I said earlier on, that communication is a skill, and it must be coupled with what I just mentioned earlier, emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And then approach also matters. How you approach someone.
It's very true.
So you know the right time to talk to a person about something. But when you lack emotional intelligence, mostly you are so intolerant that you just lash out at this person at any time, because you have no regard for their feelings.
Is it always about not having regard for their feelings? There are certain times when you are really hurt. Maybe you trusted the person too much. And let me give an example of infidelity. You find out to say that your trusted partner, the love of your life, actually has been doing some infidelity, and then it just hurts you. And you reach home, maybe you're coming back from work, and then you reach with that anger, and then you just shout at them. How do you avoid that?
You avoid that by, sometimes when something happens, you have to introspect. Two wrongs cannot make a right.
Very true.
Somebody has done something wrong. You also try to shout at them, you lash out at them. It's not going to solve the problem. The problem is already there, and the problem will never solve itself. You need sometimes, I know it's not something that is very easy. That's why we need time for us to, like for instance, you are in courtship, you are dating first, you go into courtship. Don't just feel like because everyone is doing it and you want to go straight into marriage, for instance, or you want to get into courtship with this person, minus really understanding what you are entering into, because challenges will be there, because life is a mix of hope and hopelessness, joy and sadness, vision and disillusionment. It's not a smooth sailing kind of arrangement. You are bound to face troubles, problems and tribulations.
How about those people who say maybe they've been together maybe for 3 years, they've never argued? Is it really even...
It's not necessarily about how long you have been together. Also, the aspect of maturity is very, very important. You need to reach a certain level of maturity for you to enter into a relationship. It's just common knowledge that you, the females, you mature faster than the males. If you look at how an 18-year-old boy behaves and an 18-year-old girl behaves, they are totally different. So sometimes it's self-awareness. Who am I? Such questions are very, very important. And more importantly, who am I becoming? Because it's important to know where you are going than how fast you get there. So even when you get into that particular relationship, you must know exactly what you are looking for. If you don't know what you are looking for, every place looks like one. You would have arrived and then you have those such problems.
Yes.
Because that's why we have a lot of, it's not even in marriages that we have, even in issues of violence. We have a boyfriend has stabbed the girlfriend has poured cooking oil on the boyfriend. They have not even gone far. But should we get to that? It's not necessarily getting to that.
Okay, so how does communication even affect a relationship?
Communication will affect the relationship. Even when you are going to bring that particular relationship to an end, it must end in a honorary manner.
Yes.
You are no longer in this intimate relationship. You are not enemies. That's why I was talking to one lady who was saying, no, me, I regret having been in that relationship with that man. I said, no, don't regret what happened. There was a time that you enjoyed. For the sake of that particular time you enjoyed, things did not work out. So for that time, things were not just bad throughout, but there was a time when you enjoyed.
Yes.
So don't curse that time you enjoyed, because there are good times. So those good times, you must cherish them. It never just worked. So
the thing of saying you have to be enemies with your ex is very wrong.
It's very wrong, but I'm not saying that. You see, it's also sometimes you may be seen not to be a person of vision and direction
because you're still friends with your ex.
That's the way people may look at you.
Yes.
But there are times when, for example, you're into this relationship, you end up even having a child together. Then you separate. But you are not even married, you separate.
Yes.
So how are you going to look after that child, for instance? I have friends who have had these broken relationships and
yes.
they were intending to marry, but things never worked. When you become enemies, they say when two elephants are fighting, the grass suffers. The child, an innocent child is going to suffer. Because imagine there's this man who has a child with you, who will be failing to send money to you because they will think that you will be benefiting.
Yes.
So that will also affect now the child.
The child, very true.
No, why should I send money to you? If you want that child to be supported, bring that child over. Okay. Even when they don't have the capacity to look after the child.
Okay, and so
why become enemies?
How do you improve lack of communication in a relationship?
We should understand that we are two different human beings. There's no relationship that is going to be a perfect relationship. That's why tolerance is key. Whether you like it or not, we are two different human beings. You were brought up from your family in a different. They have also been brought up in a different. Because we come together. You understand? And then we want to match as if we are just created to come and match. You can say a better half and the other better half, but you have certain traits or certain characteristics
that
with
the
which
other partner will
not have. So here, what is important is accommodating each other, but we should not become enemies once that particular phase of life ends, because that will just be eating you up. Wherever you go, if you don't actually let go of the past. Remember what I said last time, there's no future in the past.
Yes.
If it ended, it ended. You start a new chapter and start
forward.
looking forward to what is going to happen in the future.
Okay, I think the other issue is while you compare in a relationship because you've seen your friend's partner is doing this, or maybe that person is like that. As you have already said, not everything that I want in my spouse will be found. There are certain traits in them that I will not like, and tolerance is a key, as you have said. So I think people should also stop comparing, because comparing has also brought up a lot of issues. Even when they're arguing, you'll find to say, kanshinga mwari bakonga bashinani. Mwari mona bashinani ofu basunga bana nani. Mwari mona udia girlfriend wako udia talk about, let me give an example, Valentine's. Maybe that other partner to your friend has the opportunity to, to maybe have a lot of money to actually spend. And then wasango kobati, just because bali musika latest handbagging and ka Louis Vuitton and ka Gucci na wati one box ta compare weneta manchira ko tabancha shani palast. People, I think, start having unnecessary arguments because of not understanding their partners properly and not having that level of tolerance.
I'll tell you this. Do not compare yourself to anyone in this world. If you do, you are insulting yourself. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, what we are living magnets, Joiners.
Yes.
We as human beings, we are living magnets. What we get in life has nothing to do with what we want, but has got everything to do with who we are.
Yes.
So if I'm looking for a man who's going to take good care of me, I should start by working on myself. Work on myself so that I attract the right kind of a person. And then there will be no comparison, because I've already worked on myself. And there's no way, if I've worked on myself, I'm going to attract a wrong person, because I know. These are issues that are not forcing matters. No one accepts to be in a relationship, at gunpoint. No, even dekufai. So ngata wasumine fye ndekulas. takuwa vapwepya hivyo. We accept, this man looks nice, I think he can take good care of me. Wasumina eronga wasumina nomba ero wasangati ale moneka febwino napakola takwata. Understand? And then you start want to force matters to say, when I'm a baby, you are wasting your time. Some people are incorrigibles. They are beyond redemption. There's nothing that you can do to help the situation. They are beyond redemption. It's like a car that has been involved in a fatal road accident. There's nothing that you can do to repair it. Just get the engine and then sell the body parts to car breakers. So the same thing with these relationships.
Yes.
I'm appealing to those who are listening, who are singles and looking for a partner. Let them work on themselves. The same things that they want to see in another partner,
they should have.
They should have them.
Yes, exactly.
And then it will come just spontaneously. A person will come and be attracted to them. They may not have the exact thing they're looking for, but there will be some compatibilities. Even the same communication that you are talking about, it should be the one to initiate. Don't wait for your man or for your boyfriend, for your girlfriend to talk to you in a very good, dignified manner. Talk to them in a dignified manner. They will learn, because action speaks louder than words.
But we have seen actually, and this one is very common for ladies, we have seen where a relationship is actually, it begins on a very good note. It's a good morning, baby, good morning, my love, evening, have you eaten? It's actually spontaneous in the beginning. Then as maybe they advance to, maybe they're in a second month of their relationship, third month, I'll show a good morning, Takudi.
You know what? People pretend. And one of the challenges that in a relationship is that you were in this relationship, things did not work. So you quickly jump onto another relationship. Not necessarily that you have found the right kind of a partner. It's because you are trying to fill up the gap. There are two things that I call as the forces behind all our habits. Pain and pleasure. Some people enter into a relationship for pleasure. Some people enter into a relationship because they are running away from pain.
Okay,
so these are two habit forces. Whatever you do in your life, join us. They are guided by two things. Even for you to apply makeup on your face, it's either you are being driven by pain or you are being driven by pleasure.
Okay.
You understand? Even what you do. So some people went into a relationship because by the folk ex, and they end up even posting on social media about that they have found someone better. Because it's everyone's fruit.
Okay. So that actually brings my next question. How do you maintain communication in a relationship? Is it yes, you're going to have conflicts and those misunderstandings, then be more for 2 days, 3 days, but does that actually has to affect communication, or it's supposed to be spontaneous from the words go till death do us part?
Exactly.
So it's no natural busy the whole day.
It's the foundation. Remember what I said.
Yes.
Even in an organization, if you are going to create a company, there is a channel of communication. I'll give an example. I work in government. I'm a civil servant myself. Even when something happens at my place of work, I'm not going to issue a statement. The only one who's supposed to issue a statement is the PS, and who will get permission from the minister.
Yes.
And the government is consistent. The moment I will issue a statement, even if what I'm going to talk about is true, they will charge me because I've broken the rules of communication. I've broken protocol.
Yes.
So even when it comes to communication, if you want something from me, imagine I'm your man, join us. Why should you go to my friend and tell my friend to say, I think talk to your friend. I need shoes. You understand?
Yes.
And that's why, remember what I said last time, people fall in love with comforters. You have seen people to say, but how come Joyness has now jumped onto Mwalula's friend? Used to be friends with Mwalula. They were but now, he's in a relationship with a close friend, because you go and tell my friend problems that you are supposed to tell me, to communicate to me. You have broken the protocol. It has to be consistent. If I'm the one concerned, tell me. That's why the problem that we have even in marriages, you have a problem. Instead of telling your husband, you go and tell your brother. Okay. You go and tell your sister. You go and tell your aunt. Unless it's something that is life-threatening. You know the problem of telling someone else who's not part of that relationship is not an interested party. We have something in between that brought us. So why go and tell the other person who is not affected?
Okay.
The same with you. That's why I've seen even in young ladies, you go and offload everything, all your weaknesses, you tell your female friends. But you this one. This one.
That one.
So they will take advantage now because communication hasn't been consistent. Talk to each other about your problems. Don't talk to the other person about my problems. If you talk to the other person about my problems, how sure are you is that person is going to solve your problems? Who will take advantage of you? If you have not been buying you, that person will just buy one Gucci handbag. You are taken
away.
And all he's interested is to go and explore your nice body. And from there, once it explodes, they forget about it.
It even explodes.
Yes.
Okay, so now what is the remedy? What is the spice of actually maintaining the relationship?
The spice is talk to yourselves about your problems. Let the other person know your emotions. Don't fake the emotions. Because character is like, character, you can't pretend. Somebody said you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
But there are just some people who make it so hard, even if they are your partner, so hard to talk to them such that you try to express yourself and they'll just go like, they'll act in a way that actually will hurt you more because you had gone with your full energy to say, okay, this is my man and I can talk to him about anything. And the moment you tell him what is hurting you and he goes like, acts as though it's actually not important, he doesn't take it into consideration. How do you react?
There's no love there. Love is a beautiful thing. That's why people have done things that they shouldn't have done just because of love. There are so many stories in the Bible. Look at Samson. It was because of the love that Delilah gave him that made him to do even
cut his hair
and do all sorts of things.
Yes.
There are so many people that have fallen. So just love itself, when it is given in the right proportion and in the right manner, you don't need to force matters. That's why
it just flows.
These things of saying men are stingy, men are like this, sometimes you don't communicate nicely. Don't just communicate with your voice. Communicate with your body language. Communicate the way you dress. You understand? Everything is communication about you.
So the honest truth is everything is
Everything
supposed
about
to
you
happen naturally.
Exactly.
No forcing, no what. And so that which they say a real partner actually senses your mood in how you respond.
Even on phone.
Text.
Even on phone.
Yes.
Even on the text. You'll be able to tell to say there's something wrong. Just the tone of voice. That's why I said there is verbal and non-verbal communication. When you just hello, good morning, just a good morning, the way she's going to answer, you'll be able to tell there's something wrong. Baby, what is wrong? And if they know that you are someone who doesn't care, you said something yesterday and you want to cover up your wrongs, they will pretend as if all is well. And once somebody starts pretending, just know that apart Africa, ngani tu alanda niku 90 minutes in extra time.
Okay, so you are in a relationship. There's actually intimacy, but there's no proper communication. Can that even work?
No, it cannot work. Some people will be very good communicators because there's something that you're looking for. Yes, there's a specific something that you're looking for.
So a relationship can't work without communication.
That's why I said the best way to start a relationship, become friends before you become lovers.
Very true. Very important, actually.
I've heard people that they are in a relationship now because they have diarrhea. They can't tell the boyfriend. Diarrhea. You understand? No, I'm waiting for you. He said that. But no, I have a slight headache. There's lack of communication. And this another man will start thinking, obviously, there's lack of communication. Because if you love someone, you will tell them, it's like chambesh water and swore for you.
Yes. Okay, so how does one actually become a better communicator? To avoid all these conflicts.
You become a better communicator. When the two of you, when you are in love, you become crazy about it.
Okay.
Become crazy about love. Love is becoming crazy, doing crazy things together. That's what you are communicating, because you know you will not pretend.
So if you have to share even the silliest information.
Exactly. Because everyone must know every bit of it. You know, there was somebody who complained to say, after they've been together for quite some time. The man didn't know that the lady has a tattoo. But they have stayed together.
And they even communicate.
There is no communication there, because these are the times when it's about time to make love. Why are you communicating like that? When you go to bath, you bath separately. The other one comes out of the bedroom in a towel. But you are your husband and wife.
I think, let me read some of the comments that we've received. We have a comment from Napanje Queen. She says, I swear this is interesting, and Savior, I see you, my lecturer, much love for you. Alaimumlampanga. Okay, I think you can actually tell the viewers the last word, because we are actually winding up now.
Okay, thank you so much. This is a very, very interesting topic. I still want to repeat what I said. That communication in an intimate relationship is the foundation of a better relationship. Where there is no proper communication, or there is breakdown in communication, that is a recipe for destroying that particular relationship. So it has to start with self-awareness. I need to know myself very well, because I cannot give something that I don't have. And some of us, we are brought up in homes where we are not communicated properly. And that's what we have inherited. And that's what we have now taken as the way we should communicate. But I want to tell you something. There's something that I have not mentioned. Sorry that I'm mentioning it, because I what is tonight. Communication is not just about talking.
Yes.
It's about listening. And listening is a skill.
Yes.
Dalai Lama said, when you talk, you are just repeating what you know. But when you
exactly.
listen, you may learn something.
Something new, yes.
Another philosopher said, every time you spend your time listening, you gain wisdom and knowledge.
Yes.
So when we talk about communication, you should be a very good listener. Listen. That's why God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth. The reason is very simple. We must listen more and talk less.
Yes.
And when you are listening, don't just listen to what is being said. Listen to what is being implied, because meanings are in people.
Okay, so wow, very, very nice. If you haven't actually learned anything from this, shishi feno foningalanda balanda toshu for patuno no na bafing teton for so for balanda kwena na fula, and if it's very vital, we have to apply everything that Mr. Malula said. As he had put it, communication is the foundation of a relationship. Wamona relationship of ambile chepa mwale kama good morning, mwale kama good night. At no, I'm in a relationship. I think there's no even a relationship where there's no proper communication, because I think you become living together, strangers living together in the same house or in a relationship. If you're not able to communicate to your partner about even the silliest thing, then there's no love.
Exactly.
Navalanda to love.
You do crazy things.
Crazy things. You do crazy things because you love each other, and if you really love your partner, you have to tell them everything. Nangufie, it's very funny. Share with your partner, they love some. So if you don't communicate in that relationship, I don't think it's even a relationship. Break up.
Exactly.
Break up, because you won't go anywhere if you're not having a proper communication in a relationship. It means even in marriage, and that marriage will be scarce. You have a lot of scandals and a lot of mistrust and quite a lot of fighting, I guess. Okay, so thank you so much to everyone who sent their comments, everyone who watched. Thank you so much. It's now bye-bye for us here in the studio. Until next time.
Bye.
Kaiser.com. I can see the sunshine. Alongside no image. See my people shine. Mr. Mwari Malika, Ela Emi Zambia, Salutaki Mobile, no studios. Rally Christa, what do you want to do? Mother Cuba Punde. Yera Victor Senga. But you can't want no bar. Ella Justin it's song gonna to me get to me.
Funky Flex on the beat.
Na ikala life ya kuluishapa mkumbwa wana ndiko bale jumpa na kalimo kalubula shakwata ama zatate ndo kuisapa kabwacha yena nishi ya tampa na ikala pash belo ndepshamo life ipachalo iyo ndeptamo kufakati na kalimo mashamo mo history shimo na mo success kabwacha mbona fema partners na lyaluka chilangiri lwe chibi mwelesa isule ni kwe chibi bale bada ndeba posi na fyo tubi abo batapo ni kabe ko top one the music come on more success it epe pepa muchushi
I am mafia yakapwa kolisa mailoni abi yale isa daily I am mafia yakapwa kolisa mailoni abi yale isa daily twafueleza naya mafia
Kieza.com.
I can see the sunshine.
Katifa Direction alongside No Image. See my people at sun. Mr. Mwari Malika Ela Emi Zambia Sajo take mobile no studios Rally kusa watu diamo note baza kutuba punde Era Victor Senga Watu diamo no bar Ela Justin it's song gonna to me get to me.
Funky Flex on the beat.
Na ikala life ya kuluishapa